Today we'll explore how to identify bottlenecks and how cutting-edge no-code tools are only leveraged to streamline these operations, fundamentally to increase business and resources. So with regards to bottlenecks and understanding bottlenecks, let's define what we mean by a bottleneck in an arena of a small business. These are critical points that a business, where a business process, where the flow or the operation is restricted due to a limited resource or capacity. Resource or capacity, let's just think in terms of elbow grease or of human involvement, right? Somebody needs to sit down and create a blog post, or sit down and create an article or a white paper or whatever that might be. So let's just think in terms of that's going to be the major resource we're looking to scale here. The imbalance between the demand and supply can significantly significantly increase delays. It could decrease productivity and missed opportunities. In digital marketing, this can manifest as slow campaigns roll out, delayed market responses, or underutilized data analytics. Each scenario potentially costing you not just time, but also consumer engagement and revenue. So, if you want to go to the next screen, please. Okay, so let's talk about the impacts of bottlenecks. Actually, I'm sorry, I was still on that last screen. The impact of bottlenecks extends beyond just mere inefficiencies. They represent a systematic issue that can undermine your strategic objective and long-term business goals. In the context of a small business, where resources are already stretched thin, bottlenecks can magnify problems, turning minor hurdles into major obstacles. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to talk you through identifying these bottlenecks and identifying automation as sort of the resource to help these, and give some examples, as well as providing the opportunity to scale these. Okay, I can go on to automation. What is automation? So automation, in terms of a small business and in terms of how it applies in the arena of a small business environment, automation utilizes advanced software and technology to significantly reduce or entirely remove human intervention in many routine and repetitive tasks. It streamlines operation by delegating these tasks to automated systems, which can operate more consistently and frequently than human workers. This technology enables businesses to optimize their workflow, reduce errors, and maintain high efficiency. So some ideas of where we want to remove, not necessarily remove portions of where humans' involvement in creating copy or content, are blogs, press releases. What's popular these days that I have seen, we're automating the creation of content for a certain type of content, are in real estate, in the real estate business, and creating real estate listings. That's very popular down here in South Florida, always wanting to create innovative copy that stands above the other listing. And so just leveraging AI to do that and automating that process can certainly help. So consider this scenario: a boutique marketing agency that manages social media campaigns for a diverse array of clients. By integrating automation tools for scheduling posts, monitoring the engagement, and conducting basic analytics, the agency can now manage more than one with greater precision. And I say agency, but let's think about what that agency was before they were an agency. They could have been an independent consultant who's looking to grow into an agency with limited resources, leveraging automation to scale parts of their business that refines their business practices and shows proof of concept that they can then bring in the additional help as needed, is a scenario where leveraging automation and technology can help. We can go on to the next slide. So let's give you a little bit of an introduction to some intelligent automation.
And I'm gonna just interrupt really quick. So, just to kind of very quickly, bottlenecks are things that are holding you back. And automation is a free AI. It's been around for years, and it's kind of a way to get through these bottlenecks and to get boring but important tasks done more quickly, more efficiently. Intelligent automation is where the AI tools really come into play. And there's a lot that businesses can do around automation that is not powered by AI. And so there are existing tools that aren't new, that are not leveraging AI. What AI has really done, as Peter is going to describe, is put it on steroids.
Exactly. Great. And so here's a good way to understand it. In automation, think of something like maybe IFTTT, right? Where you have a series of blog posts that are already written, stored maybe in your Dropbox, and you're simply creating an automation that pulls that blog posts and posts it to your Instagram or your Twitter or your blog or whatever. So basically, it's automated. It's taking two pieces, connecting them together, and getting to that end result. But intelligent automation is going to be similar to something like what ChatGPT is, like leveraging generative AI, where you put in a topic such as digital marketing and grassroots business plan. And what the generative or intelligent AI is doing, it's going out and leveraging all of its worldly information and saying, well, if I'm going to be building a strategic plan, or if somebody's asking me, I should say, about digital marketing and a strategic plan for grassroots, then this is the answer that follows these set of keywords. And so another idea is to feed, and I'll show you in some examples, ChatGPT, a list of topics, and now having an AI or an automation process pick up that topic and write a subject or a blog post on that topic, and then deliver that to your blog. So the process of not just selecting the topic, but then creating that intelligent aspect of it that had no human interaction, like the creative copy, that's going to be your intelligent automation part of it. Intelligent automation represents an advanced level automation that integrates artificial intelligence technologies. This enables systems to not only perform predefined tasks, but also learn from data, adapt to the operations, and make autonomous decisions to enhance performance. This capability allows intelligent systems to handle complex tasks that require human intervention, such as pattern recognition, natural language processing, and decisions made based on ambiguous or incomplete information. So we want, to deliver it, concepts, and have it take over to finalize the answer to those concepts. For small business,
there was a question. Zapier, IFTT, which is if this then that, are great examples of automation tools that predate AI that have been around forever. So yeah, if most of you are familiar with Zapier. Zapier is like a great example of automation. So is marketing automation tools like ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, and Salesforce that take like following up emails and email into an automation space. So a lot of you are utilizing through your CRMs like HubSpot or Salesforce or ActiveCampaign marketing automation for follow-ups and email sending. And you also may be using Zapier or IFTT for automation as well. What I think intelligent automation does is it improves the quality of automations, and it allows you to automate some tasks that maybe before weren't really automatable because the data wasn't in a great format.
Perfect. Two examples. In a CRM environment, I built a system where when a new lead comes in, based on the status of that new lead, every time the status changes to attempted to contact, contacted, not contacted, then it triggers an automated email to go out, right? Thank you for getting in contact with us. That is a simple automation triggered based on a status change. The intelligent version of an automation would be not only is it going to respond to that email or trigger the email, but possibly take notes from the CRM and in its own words write, a summary. Thank you for contacting us. Based on our discussion, blah, 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 blah. That all can be leveraged by an intelligent human interaction. And that would be an example. One thing that we see every day that's behind the scenes, that's an intelligent, automated, is in e-commerce, right? E-commerce is the leader in all these technologies, but they've been around for a very long time, where we're on a page and we make a certain set of searches for a product, and based on the product searches, and then based on my area of where I'm searching from, and then based on the time of the day and the season, you have these related or similar products. That's an example of an intelligent automation. Not just because you pick stuff in the home appliance section, you're going to get other home appliances, but combining other factors of information. And so I think that's we just talked about real world examples. So
yeah,
the next slide, guys.
Love it. And so now I think let's kind of connect the bottlenecks that we described and then the intelligent automation, and how intelligent automation can help solve these bottlenecks and streamline processes and save you a lot of time and money.
Too, so if he just brings in speakers, they ask him.
All right. So yes, we need to always keep, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as somebody who's reconciling your daily systems and processes. You're going to look to uncover the prime opportunities for implementing intelligent automation within your organization. Begins by conducting a thorough analysis of your current workflow. Focus on identifying tasks that are highly manual, time-consuming, or prone to errors when performed by human operators. Such tasks often include extensive data processing, repetitive administrative activities, or complex calculations, all of which are ideal candidates for automation. Understanding these pain points can significantly guide your strategy towards more effective solutions. So how does it impact? What's the impact on small businesses' productivity when identifying a bottleneck? Implementing intelligent automation. So implementing intelligent automation in areas identified can dramatically enhance the productivity of your small business, a small or medium-sized business or business. By automating routine tasks such as data entry, lead qualifications, or regular reporting, you not only save time, but also reduce the likelihood of error. We talked about that. I think that's a big thing to think about when coming up with ways to automate the processes with intelligent automation. The likelihood of combining data with human involvement. If we can bypass that, that improves a lot. So I wanted to give an example of identifying a bottleneck that can. I think Dan, you and I spoke about this when we were prepping for this master class. I wish I had the time, which I could have built this, but maybe it'll be a bonus. I'll build it and send a demo to your class. But it involves around this. Similarly to how Otter AI works, where it summarizes a conversation, or even here in Zoom, if we're recording this, there's AIs that are built in to summarize the transcript, right? So in theory, in this part has been done. I built my own AI very simply. I record my conversations or my meetings, and I send them directly to my make workflow that I'll show you later. It transcribes the workflow and then summarizes it. It provides a series of main points, featured points, arguments against the conversation, and it pulls out the related topics. But let's say the recording was a discovery call that I had with a potential prospect, where I discussed the services that they need or the services that I think that I can provide for them under the capacity that I can provide it in. By feeding background information of prices and services that relate to those fees, I can essentially have the AI analyze the audio from a discovery call with a potential client and have AI deliver the proposal for me just by analyzing the information, which is essentially what a human would do. They would be tasked with, number one, taking good notes during that discovery call and not missing any chance for the client to really prioritize his pain points. AI is going to transcribe, read it in the transcript, identify it, and effectively create the proper scope of work, based on a summary from the notes or the audience. So that's an example of where, you know, and not only that, but think about the turnaround time and the complexities to put out a proposal that really redefines what the client's priorities are, outlines the scope of work, and then maybe delivers terms of service or a timeline. All of those things, I've gone through the process countless times in my career over the 25 years. I hate writing proposals. They take hours. But here's one way that we can supercharge the ability to get the funnel starting to packed up with more business for small businesses. That's just an example within identifying bottlenecks for intelligent automation. I'm good to go to the next slide.
Perfect. Let me just share my screen.
See, he wants to control everything.
Hang on one
You
second.
understand? And he took even away his notes. You know, to make his stuff. You know what I'm saying? To make it all look like his stuff. Because he wants to create a digital product out of this, you know?
You see any questions pop up in the meantime? I'm very flexible. If somebody has
Yeah,
it.
no, I've been addressing them as they're coming in.
Awesome.
Okay, can you see my screen?
No code tools is what it says.
Yeah, is that what we're on?
I believe so. You can go to the, yep, what is a no code tool? Exactly. Yeah, just getting back really quick, when you mentioned Zapier, yeah, similar to IFTTT, Zapier is going to connect data sources. But now there might be intelligent automation in between, but traditionally Zapier was to connect data sources to feed it to an API or something that would launch on the other end. So like Zapier can take call logs data, connect that data source into the CRM, where the CRM would then log that call, possibly set a status, and then trigger another workflow. That stuff has been around for a long time. And so anyway. Thought about, and all right, so what is a no-code tool? So just as it sounds, before I really get into the specifics, it's having the ability to program at almost exactly the same level as a developer can, but not understanding or even understanding any code. More for basically having a better understanding of intuitive, of what you see is what you get sort of point and click interfaces to kind of build your code. Understanding what you're trying to do, the code is built in the back end. So no-code tools are designed to democratize technology creation, providing a platform where users can build applications without writing a single line of code. These tools are equipped with user-friendly visual interfaces that often include drag-and-drop elements and pre-built modules. This enables anyone, regardless of their coding expertise, to easily create apps, automate workflows, and integrate various software systems. The core advantage is that it makes the technology accessible and usable for a broader audience. For small to medium-sized businesses, no-code tools offers a leap into this opportunity to manage and high levels of strategy and execution. Because think about the business owner starting out, hiring a developer might be the top salary a paid person on their team if they're looking to build an agency, let's say, or build their website where it's going to, be able to take copy or content from another source. Leveraging no-code technologies to tie these two together allows the entrepreneur to now to take over without having to hire a developer.
Yeah. So what we're kind of talking about here is this combination of automation tools, intelligent automation, and then the advent of no-code tools that bring the ability to address, to build automations and address these bottlenecks using these tools by non-technical people. So it's like a combination, almost a stack of different technologies that are all combining to this no-code intelligent automation that we're about to show you examples of here. And I know people are itching to see examples of this, so I know we have a couple set up for them.
They talk an hour.
Yeah, absolutely, and I see that I'm at 23 minutes, and I definitely want to make sure that I'm good on time, so feel free to push me along or whatever it needs to be. But I would say that let's go on to the bottlenecks addressed by no-code tools. This is there's a good amount of things I could kind of talk or outline here, but I did want to get to this just so we can jump right into make an example here. So I wanted to talk about some common bottlenecks and solutions, right? Like thinking on a broad scope for small to medium-sized businesses. No-code tools offer a transformative approach to resolving several digital marketing bottlenecks. So some things that we can think about. Setting up setup time for a campaign, right? So I'm thinking of a content marketer that needs to do a little bit, they need to do keyword research, they need to write a brief, they need to create an outline, then they need to write a draft. So the time that it takes to get all that background information might be something that a no-code platform can help or assist in that process. Lead nurturing, right? Lead nurturing, if you can download or rent or build or procure your own database with many, many, many different data points, you can just throw a prompt into your whole entire data source and say, hey, find me people that fit this profile or that may be located in population or demographics where this may be possible. So just having someone's name, phone number, because they'll have the area codes, the address and zip codes, just that alone, you can now take 5,000 people and say, and it could be nationwide list of names. You can say, well, now give me the people in markets where trends follow this. So lead nurturing. Customer data and integration, we talked a little bit about that. One example that comes to mind is I work for a black car service, a luxury car service, not necessarily stretch limos, but not Uber, but per hour cars. And constantly the dispatchers are taking many calls. Sometimes they're on the road taking calls because they're drivers as well. What we're doing is they do announce that they are recording the calls. We feed that to AI. AI now pulls out all of the dispatch information. The start, the pickup time, drop-off time, addresses of pickup and drop-off, credit card information, any special needs, the name of the drivers, confirmation, all that's discussed because the dispatcher has a script that they go through. We've just trained AI to pull out that information, and then with something like Zapier or even IFTTT, we scrape that data that it delivers, and then we integrate that into our CRM. Content creation, well, I'm going to give some examples here. Other ways where we can streamline operations are in capturing leads, segmenting audiences, and I mentioned nurturing campaigns. So I guess segmenting in leads is important if you have a lot of data. And now that ChatGPT 4 and 4.0 can access the internet in real time, basically you can cross-reference the data that you are asking it to do with the internet. I'm good to go to the case study of make.com.
Perfect. So we're going to now give you some examples. We're going to show you the make.com tool, which is the no-code automation tool. Kind of think of it as Zapier on major steroids. And then we're going to show you some examples of automations that he's built. So here you go. Case studies of make.com.
Got it. So I have some videos that I recorded here coming up that I'm going to show you the steps that a client would take to execute various automated processes. It was very hard for me in this presentation to outline everything just because of the matter of time. So what I'm going to do right now is just talk to you about Make really quickly. Make.com is basically the clearinghouse to connect and tie in any number of thousands and thousands of applications. Some applications off the top of my head that I know you can connect are Ring Central, call tracking metrics, Google Sheets, Google Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Tasks, HubSpot, Salesforce, Airtable, Constant Contact, MailChimp. The list goes on. I would be willing to bet that if we had a list of everybody's CRMs and applications that they use on a daily basis within this chat right now, I would imagine that more than 50% of those applications are going to be available in Make right now. So what I did is I discovered that, and then it's about tying Make to different sources, and I'm going to kind of get into that. So Make.com enhances the no-code automation experience by offering advanced capabilities for setting up intricate, multi-step processes. This platform is especially valuable for businesses aiming to streamline complex operations without the need for extensive coding knowledge. Organizations across various sizes use Make to automate critical business functions such as sales lead qualification, customer onboarding, and even complex content repurposing strategies across various marketing channels, and that's what I'm going to show you. This level of automation not only increases efficiency, but it also ensures consistency and accuracy in repetitive tasks. Another thing about Make, I really encourage everybody here to get an account and just start playing around. They have a library of templates that are already set up. Search for one of your applications and see what templates are already there. It'll guide you through it. If you ever run into problems, you hit their help desk. They are amazing. I can't speak enough to Make. Let's go on to automatic slims as my first case study. So I'll kind of talk.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to see, it's going to be at make.com.
Yeah, if you go.
And if you click on here, you'll see this is the kind of tool. Get started for free. You can sign up, and it gives you a lot to work from. So we're going to show you now, and this is one of several tools. Are there other tools, Peter, that you just wanted to kind of name check before we dive in?
Well, one of the tools that's important, that's more of a graph that Make owns, is a company called Placid, PLACID.app, I believe is the. And so that basically is similar to Canva, where in Photoshop, where Photoshop has layers, right? And Canva does well. Placid adds a data field to those layers so that you can merge in data, which could be imagery or video or text, onto a Canvas template or an image template. And I'm going to show that later, but this is another app that is owned by Make that we're going to talk through.
Great. And now I know we talked about IFTTT, which is one automation for business and home. If this, then that. Have they started incorporating intelligent automation, or are they a little bit?
I have seen the intelligent automation incorporated in these type of systems. Is you dictate or you ask, I'm looking to build an automation tying in my HubSpot so that I can blah, 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 blah. And then what it does is, its automation will then sort of build that recipe, I think is what they call it in IFTTT, for you, or very close to it. So that's where there's AI that I believe it translates what you're looking to do into that recipe for you. But I haven't really seen it like to Make.com standards.
Got it. And then obviously the industry leader has been for many years Zapier, and I just wanted to make sure that we showed folks that. So I guess what I'm hearing you say is you have IFTTT and Zapier, who are kind of the incumbents who've been big in the space, and Make, who's really stormed on the scene, and it sounds like is your favorite tool to use.
Well, yeah, and let me tell you, with one specific caveat or module that I'm going to show you. So where I mentioned that, like if you scroll up at that screen there and just pause for a second, but I have other ones. Those little icons there are different components. If you have a data source that you're pulling data from, and one of your components is ChatGPT, that's what's really you're using the raw platform of tools to make all of your data sources now intelligent. because you can create a prompt to say, ChatGPT, I need you to act like a reporter and review field A, field C, and field G, and come up with X, Y, or Z and put it here. So that's where the intelligent part comes at it, because one of the modules is ChatGPT, OpenAI ChatGPT, that you can ask it to execute or analyze and generate new data based on existing
How
data.
is it?
That's where I see it makes it automated. And then yes, the workflow part of it is, well, that's automated. That's the intelligent part of it. I'm sorry, that's the intelligent part of it. The automated part of it is, yeah, just tying in these different systems that I'm going to show you, illustrated.
Okay. All right. So you wanted to talk about
Yeah, start right there, and then we're
automatic
going.
slim.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what automatic slims is and kind of what they're looking to do. The first two case studies they're similar, but these are all relieved bottlenecks in the company. So this gentleman here has another business. This is not his full-time business. This is second. So he doesn't have that resource. He does not have a social media person. He doesn't have a researcher. He doesn't have an assistant. So he's looking to engage his industry. To show that he is a subject matter expert. In addition, he's looking to socialize the content that his brand, the brands that he works for. Automatic Slims basically activates brands in the Web 3.0 community, so like in the metaverse. And he holds events there, and anytime there's different discussions around Web 3.0 or entertainment or NFTs, he wants to be in that scenario. So what he's looking to do is find a way to be able to simply deliver 7 articles or links to 7 articles that he found on a weekly basis that he wants to socialize on his Instagram and for his network to really understand more about what it is that they're doing. So let's attempt to go to this next screen, Dan. Just here, before you hit play, let's let's see how it sounds, and if you think the gist comes through here, if not, what I was going to do here was I was going to play and pause, and speak over what I have recorded because I wanted to make sure I got everything. Either way, I'm flexible, so let's just attempt to play it. This is workflow is starting out where the client is finding and selecting 7 articles that he's going to add into a Google Sheet that I created for him on Sundays is when he does it. And then the rest of the week work is basically taken over by the intelligent automated process.
Great. Let me share. I'm hoping I'm going to optimize it for video clip. That should create a better share experience. And so here we go.
With the client, bookmarking and saving a series of articles that his clients are featured in. These are the articles that he's looking to socialize.
It's a little bit low in terms of volume.
So,
are you able to hear it?
He saves a series of links to the articles along with the image URLs.
Jose, are you able to hear it? I'm not.
This shared
Yes.
Google Sheet.
Okay.
He does.
Let me start over.
Start over, pause, and let me lead in. Client. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, it's starting out, as I mentioned, is where the client is finding an article that he wants to be socialized and put through the process. Go ahead. Okay. With the client, bookmarking and saving a series of articles that his clients are featured in. These are the articles that he's looking to socialize on his Instagram feed. So let's look at this. He saves a series of links to the articles along with the image URLs on this shared Google Sheet. He does 7 of them for the week. It takes him as long as it takes for him to find the article. He does 7 because this posts once a day. The next step is the automation on make.com. The process opens up the Google Sheet. We'll follow the link to the article. Write the headline.
No, I'm worried
Save
about
it to
the
memory.
drawers.
Then it's going to open up the next
You'll put 'em
same
out.
field, and it's going to write a post. Read the article and write a post. Let's watch.
This cabinet.
Let me work now.
It almost happens in real time, as you're going to see. ChatGPT is running in the process here and filling in the fields with the data. After this is completed, the client simply goes back and reviews the posts to make sure they're accurate and that they're to his liking. From there, he's done for the week. The next step of the process is, on a daily basis, make.com will open up the sheet, take the last row of data, and feed it to Placid. Placid is an application similar to Canva, except every layer on the template is another data layer. So we have a headline data layer, and we have an image data layer. At this point, as the system runs, it opens up the file, and it goes through this router. Every day there is a different Instagram template that we're using, and depending on the day, that's where the data is fed to that template and then posted to Instagram. Let's watch. Here, the file and data from Google Sheets is being fed to Placid. It's now being fed to Instagram. And then quality checks are going to email it to me as well as posted in the file. Let's look. This is the end result. We have the headline merged with the image on the template for this day of the week, along with the social post, and posted to Instagram 10 seconds ago. So I think that's where this ends. So yeah, just to highlight, the steps were that the client is looking to find these articles. He procures them over the week. I said things happen on Sunday, but it doesn't matter. He just makes sure that you can hear me, right, Dan?
Yeah.
He fills it into the Google Sheet, and he runs step one of the automation. Or he doesn't even have to run it. It actually will sense that a new line of data was posted there, and it will automatically populate with the social posts that it intelligently created. And as I mentioned, the last part of what he needs to do is edit it, make certain that it, the accuracy of the data that it actually, looked to post. After that, he's done, and I showed you on a weekly basis what done. So this is one person who now took the place of a social media person to be able to post these for them, a content person to create the creative post, and possibly a graphic designer to merge, the imagery that was given from the article with a headline, and then tying all that together. You saw how quickly this was done.
Yeah, really impressive. We have a question from Carlos Betancourt. He said, if you're using a system that is not on the list but does have an API, can you integrate it into Make?
Absolutely, yeah. There's ways where you can set up webhooks, and there are sort of generic data aggregators so that will open up the data source. And at the very least, you can tie into FTP sites, or you can tie into cloud areas and so forth. Cloud data sources as well.
And then we had another question from Mary Dominguez. Where does the client get the image if the article doesn't have an image?
So if most articles should have an image, right? If they're in a publishing network, just wearing my SEO hat, they're just gonna need to be. But very good question is, I certainly I didn't use it as an example, but I have in the process asked another ChatGPT component, specifically the DALL-E component, to review the article, come back with the 3 top keywords for the process, and then take that keyword and create an image for it. Now, it's not great, or it wasn't great when I tried it months ago, and I don't mean that it wasn't great. It wasn't perfect, I should say. But it did analyze content, come up with, or use, I said analyze the blog post, pull out the major H1 tag and use that to create an image visualizing that. And then it posts it. So it can absolutely be done on the fly, or you can just feed an image from somewhere else that you know is not from that article.
Really impressive. So we have another client of yours, Blockticity, and a case study from them.
Yeah, so this is a similar scenario, not as complex on the graphic side in the sense where for automatic slims, every day of the week, there's actually, the template looks the same, but there's a little variation in the right corner in the middle. It's the title of the topic of that day. And so every day, they have to match up. Well, in this scenario, it's not that complex, but we're looking to create more intelligent content and various content on for different scenarios. Like on LinkedIn, their blog specifically, as well as Instagram, but not to the level where it's a different template every day. So let's just go ahead and run this one, and we can go from there. I believe on the, yeah. The final output is content delivered to.
So you want to just.
The final. Yeah, so basically, the lead in is basically I'm saying that the ultimate goal. Okay, so basically where this is picking up is very similar to automatic slims. I still gave them the same Google sheet for them to fill in two pieces of information, an article and the image. But in this case, the top row here is going to do the same thing, post a unique post about that article to Instagram. But the second two lines are now going to go further. ChatGPT is going to jump in there and create a blog post, more lengthier, posting that to Instagram, WordPress, and as well as LinkedIn. One caveat here is I'm posting these live, but I would post them as drafts so that you can have somebody go in, clean it up, and then post them as finals. But go ahead and play. Wherever it picks up, it'll make sense. The final output is content delivered to Instagram as an Instagram post, to WordPress as a blog post, as an article, and to LinkedIn. So let me show you how this process works. Similarly, the client starts off by bookmarking a series of articles that he's looking to socialize, along with their image URL. He copies them onto a Google Sheet like this, and he does it for 7 days. And after that, the first step of the process takes over. And so what it does is it opens up the Google Sheet that I just showed you. It will then, ChatGPT will then read the article and create a headline for the social media post. Then ChatGPT will read the article and create a 6-bullet point. And if you wanted to skip through and just see where you'll see like a picture of LinkedIn or WordPress, and you'll see the difference. Is that it will create a LinkedIn post summarizing the article that was given to it, saving it in Google Sheets. So that's all the client has to do. It takes him about 15 minutes each week. After that, on a daily basis, according to the schedule, scenario step 2 will take over. It opens up the sheet, takes the last row of data. It then merges it with the image template. So here is the image template on Placid. This is built into layers. So here is the image layer, and here's the headline layer. So the system goes in, and builds the template for the image and posts it to Instagram. Here's the post. Here's the URL. Here's the headline. Here's the image, and here's the body. All taken from this line right here. After that, the process continues along, and ChatGPT will read the article and summarize it into a blog post, and wraps up the blog post into in the conclusion. It is prompted to relate the topic of the article to the work that Blockticity, which is the client, and the services that they do, and I feed the information to it in the prompt. Lastly, it creates the summary that it took before and posts it to LinkedIn. Here is the blog post that it created. summarizing the article, and then linking the relevance of the article to the client with links back to the website as well as to the article. Lastly, here is the LinkedIn post summarizing the article. Again, purpose of this scenario is to make it easy for the client to be a source of information for a specific topic without a team to help him deliver and post these summaries. So go ahead and pause. So all right. So the highlights of what I'm going to show you, and I'm sorry that I kind of was repetitious with the second scenario, but bottom line is that we're able to allow the ChatGPT to do more, not just create the post, but create various types of content and copy and put it in various areas. I don't think it's necessary to go through the last one, although the example is my blog and my website. And so I'm an SEO, I am an ethical SEO, but what I'm doing is I'm doing this, what I'm going to explain that I'm doing it for you guys so you don't have to, or at least you should probably do it another way. I created, and again, Dan, you might want to just not play it, but you can just skip through. There's not so many screens, and I'll just talk through. But
okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I mean, I find this pretty compelling, honestly, so I think it's okay.
As long as we're good on time, Dan, I'm just worried about time.
I think these examples are really, and I don't think the repetition is that big a deal, honestly. So
I'm only worried on time because I'm almost done. So if you think so, like this is a little shorter, I think I'm more concise in this one.
Perfect. So just give us the scenario again real quick.
So in this scenario, remember the client in my other examples had to go out and find the articles that they want procured or socialized, I should say. In this example, I'm having ChatGPT go to Google News. Just so you know, if you do a search on Google News, such as digital marketing, you'll get two results. You'll get the search result and you'll also get a topic result. Both of those results can be turned into an RSS feed. So for instance, if I search for, in quotes, Premier Estate Properties, that's one of my clients, they're a real estate company in South Florida, chances are, anytime that Premier Estate Properties, in quotes, is coming up, it's going to be my client's brand. So I can create an RSS feed to search for my client's brand on a daily, weekly, whatever basis. Now what I can do is tie in.
If you can look at my screen real quick, where's the RSS feed? I just did what you said.
So it's not. In my example, there's a way where you can take, there's a format, it's public on Google News, but you just have to replace your topic words here, Premier State Properties in quotes. I can show you in my example, there's in the screenshot there, you actually make an RSS. But if you, search for how to turn a search result in Google News to RSS feed, it'll be the top result.
So how to turn
Google News result to RSS.
So you have to create an alert.
No. Let me, if you'd like, I'll find it and I'll send it to you. You can share it with your team.
Okay.
The article that I used. Or we can copy it from what I'm going to show them. They can copy exactly and just replace my words with their words. But so what I've done here is I've created an RSS feed for digital marketing, ChatGPT 4.0. And anytime that article pops up or an article pops about that, I want ChatGPT to pick the last article, summarize it, and actually in the prompt, I'm very specific. I said, I want you to act as an AI news reporter, investigating news and topics that are popular in industry trends. I want you to summarize the article into topical bullet points. I want you to provide a link back to the article with a hypertext link. And I want you to conclude the article by relating its topic to the work that Peter Leshaw does as a digital marketing strategist, which is X, Y, and Z. So in my prompt, I'm feeding ChatGPT a little bit about me and saying, read this article, create a summary, and then conclude by saying, look, if you're interested in this application, you might want to call Peter because he can help you do this. it's a way for somebody to self-promote, do blogging. It's what we used to do. Except I'm having this run fully automated. I can turn this on a daily basis. It goes in, finds the article, writes it, posts in my blog. I never have to look. I never have to look at it. I do that because I do want to test the effectiveness of posting fully automated copy on search engines. And right now, there has never been any penalty to hold me back. It's been more of, organization of my website and the SEO crawling work that I need to fix, which happens everyone's website. So you go ahead and run this, and I think we're a little more concise here, and you'll just see. And if I yell out pause, that's where you might be able to capture where I'll save and resend the link.
Okay. So here we go. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Show you how I created a automated workflow to fetch articles related to a certain topic in Google News, summarize that article with ChatGPT, and post it to my blog. Key component of the process is that not only is it going to summarize the article, but it's going to relate the article to the services that I provide on peterlucia.com.
And that's the intelligent part of it.
Workflow, there's 4 components. The first component is where I converted a news
Pause.
topic search on Google News to an RSS feed.
That's where I'll copy this, and I'll put it in the chat for you guys.
And ChatGPT 4.0, it's going to search for articles related to that. After that, it's going to act as a news reporter. In my prompt here, I have to do that, to write an article summarizing the different PowerPoints about the article, and also relating the article to the work that I provide. And I fed it information about what I do as a digital marketer using AI. Lastly, or second to last, it's going to create the headline for the article, and then post it to my blog. So I'm going to run this process now, and we're going to see it run in real time and how long it takes to run. So here I launched it. It is summarizing the article now. So it researched and found this article. OpenAI introduces a new model 4.0 on tech bullion. It wrote the article, it wrote the headline, and it posted it to WordPress. Now, let's that. And here it is. AI breaks through in digital marketing. Discover the new era with ChatGPT 4.0. Here's the article. Here's my power statements. Here's a link back to the article. And then here's how the article relates to the work that I do. For businesses looking to leverage this nice looking button here to schedule an appointment on my website directly.
So interesting is, point about this is I ran this today for the first time since 4.0 came out yesterday. And at the very end where it made that bullet, it actually made a button, a call out in green. That wasn't necessarily like in my direction. I did say, write an article and then format it in HTML. So when I ask it to write an article, I say, write the article, you deliver it in HTML, and then remember, it posts it to that Google Sheet. Then later on in the process, the WordPress, it selects that field, so it's automatically in HTML. WordPress reads it. That's why you can see the bullet points, the boldness of the H1 tags. I don't have to do that. It intelligently put in those HTMLs. And now with 4.0, it knew that and made it in that green thing. I mean, that's something new with that. Anyway, that's it with my examples.
We have some questions. So Mary Dominguez asked, what's your experience with text on the image that AI produces? Can the text be edited on the AI-produced image?
That's specifically why I don't rely too much on leveraging the automation to create images on the fly. I just don't know that it's there. I think if you're not too
she's specific. Sorry, she's asking about the text overlay.
Yeah, no, I understand. So what I'm saying is my experience is that it fumbles in that area. Sometimes it could be 95% accurate. Most of the time, it's 50% accurate. I haven't gotten it to the point where I'm confident to say generate this on the fly, unless it's an image without text.
There you go. So it's AI plus human is definitely where the state of the art is. To say that you really shouldn't be posting anything on your website without a human editor looking at over it, whether you're hallucinating regarding the article or creating weird text on the image overlay. But what this is doing is turning you from the writer to the editor and saving you a ton of time in the process. Eugenio Briseño asked, how do we create the prompts properly? What is the format in which they're written?
The prompts are very similar to how I would write them directly on ChatGPT's web interface. The only part that's different is, if I say, I want you to act as an AI reporter, and I want you to summarize, and then when I hit, in make, it'll say, okay, open up fields, then it opened up my data source, it says, well, here are all your fields. Then I hit field A, or column A1, boom, or A, I should say. So, and then that's where I'm dynamically matching up the data source, which is the link to the article that I wanted to read since it has internet access, and tying it back to the prompt. And then so I'm just copying and pasting the prompt I would normally make onto make, but minus, I don't have to feed it data, because really part of the automation process is to scale this. So I wouldn't do this for 1 day's posting for automatic slims. It's doing this for 7 days posting of the work and the setup all in advance. Otherwise, it'd take you the same amount of time to just do 1 a day, right? So that's really it.
Perfect. What is the pricing of Make.com, and is it like a monthly subscription?
Yeah, so there's a subscription based on the amount that you use it. But I can tell you, with my clients using a tremendous amount of daily workflows, at least to post, as well as work on their, I have not gone over my quota of maybe 10 to 20. I think the basic is $10 a month to 25. I think even actually free gives you a good amount of processes for you to get started. But with the work that I do as a consultant in this, I haven't spent more than 25 a month maybe. Once you build the processes and get more involved with Make, you find ways to streamline the process itself, so you're not calling data twice. You're calling it once, processing on it, and then delivering.
What about ChatGPT? Is a normal, like what level of membership do you need with ChatGPT to be able to use this integration?
Great. So I have I pay for the API access, I pay for the plus, which is $20 a month, and that gives me a certain amount of credit that I have not exceeded yet. I think maybe one time I did, and I added like $2 or $3, and it added thousands of more. So you do need the plus business access or version, so that gives you access to the API. And then there's a level of calls there, but you get a lot. They give you a lot.
Yeah, and then there's a separate Placid, right, which is the one that creates the layered smart content for imagery. What's the expense on that?
About $10 a month. I think Make and Placid are both $10 a month. I think I'm forced into paying ChatGPT or OpenAI $20 to access the API. I did pay $20 before to access the higher version, but now 4.0 is free and it's pretty good. You don't really need.
Yeah. So, roughly speaking, all of this for about $40 a month is sort of where it is today, May 2024. All of this is changing quickly, and those prices may evolve. We'll have a few minutes with some wrap up. So I wanted to talk about first the landscape of no-code tools.
Yeah, so are you going to talk to it or to me?
You, please.
Okay. Yeah, I think we talked about some of them right now. I think that you have IFTTT, which ties in to most web interfaces that you have access to, but it's not going to intelligently act on the things you connect to it. It's really to connect switches, basically, is what it is. It's not connecting data sources. Zapier is connecting data sources much like IFTTT that is connecting switches, right? Home automation switches, the switch to tell me what the weather is. Make now comes in because it has ChatGPT as a standalone module that you can feed a prompt to against any of the data sources that you're connecting to it. Placid is an application that creates data fields on imagery and video as well. So now if you had a table of imagery or access or files or links to images or video, you can merge those two together. Would you be able to feed a database of keywords or H1 tags to ChatGPT and Make and say, now give me, create for me an alt image for that would go along with the web page? Absolutely. And so that's going to be where that Make is more intelligent and able to do that. And so that's my, and then within CRMs, you're going to have automation. That's not going to be no code, but within CRMs and within IFTTT, if they don't have a ChatGPT component where it acts on the data, then you're going to be, and I don't say this in a bad way, you're going to be misdirected in thinking that it does, but really what it's doing, it's saying, hey, tell me what you're looking to do, and I'm going to intelligently tell you how my system can do it for you. It's not going to actually build it. It's just going to tell you how. Anyway, that's what I have to say on the landscape.
Perfect. And then implementation strategies for people's companies.
Yeah, I think the best way that I have coaxed some of my prospects to determine whether or not, AI is important is after you have identified those bottlenecks, right? You've identified that the process by which you have to do keyword research on a topic, then cross-reference those keyword research with data that you might find on SEMrush, which SEMrush can be tied into Make as well, to then being able to take both of those pieces of information to create an outline for, right? Think about that moving from left to right as like a project in a timeline. I would start, but to implement it, I would basically map that out in a Google Sheet or a flat table from left to right. Step 1, keyword research. Step 2 would be, if you had a prompt in that, you would say, give me the top 3 keywords for so-and-so data. So basically, if you laid out your process from left to right and then figured out where the ChatGPT or an AI can hover over or fit in the middle of the two, that's how you're going to start implementing these strategies. That's what I think is the best approach.
Perfect. So let's take a step back and then we'll wrap up. So first of all, thank you so much, Peter. This has been really eye-opening. And we had a question from Ebert Grobler, who was one of the guests in a prior lesson that we did on SEO, AI for SEO. And he basically said, how well do these AI-generated articles do against the EEAT requirements that Google has put out? So in other words, are these AI-generated articles actually generating search results and traffic to your website? And I think you had mentioned that this is a bit of an experiment.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. In full disclosure, I maintain my own website. I'm okay in WordPress. I'm not a developer. One other thing in full disclosure, I'm a shoemaker with shoes that don't fit. I preach a lot of this stuff. I have a very good network thanks to knowing people like Dan and South Florida Interactive Marketing Association. So I'm not out there trying to be an agency, trying to get a ton of business. So that's why I've taken that risk and doing this as an experiment. My content is not designed for EEAT, but it absolutely can be by adding in more of the intelligent components to do the research and tie in to do the research, find the links, find the expert, link to your social profiles in the author of that stuff, all that can be done if you thought it out and built it. On another notion, well, okay, so that, but as an SEO, where it can be done and scaled very well is you can have the AI go into your blog, so you can feed it all of your URLs. So you can tell it, AI, read this page, read the thing, analyze it against EEAT, and now deliver the 5 or 6 strategies that this page is not doing that would help your EEAT. And along with that, rewrite the content if it needs to be. So that's where I see a lot of SEOs leveraging this process, is by going in and looking at content that's doing well or has done well, that's evergreen, and making it more evergreen, or if that's even possible. But taking content that's done well and had high engagement rate and that is possibly evergreen, and improving it for later or current algorithm standards. That's where I see a lot of the SEOs that I speak with at conferences. That's how they're doing this. So it's not necessarily writing it from scratch. It's rewriting it or improving it or doing the background information to improve the EEAT or the things like that.
Perfect. So one thing I would say is, we talked a lot about this in the SEO course that we ran. This can get you to an 80% blog much faster than the traditional methods. But if you really want that 100% blog that's going to really perform well, we identified 2 things that require human intervention that will elevate this to be much more likely to be indexed by Google and rewarded by SEO. And the first is your analysis, your individual expert analysis of the situation or the topic that's being discussed. Whatever you, as a subject matter expert, your take, using the first person. And then the second is a real-life example or case study from your life experience to elevate the content. If you can add in the first person these subject matter expert analysis and examples, you will be much more likely to take this content and elevate it. What Google has sort of indicated is that it doesn't necessarily punish automated content, but it is also concerned about a flood of automated content kind of gunking up the internet. And so if you can elevate your content with personal analysis and examples from real life, that will immediately differentiate you from this automated content. And I really, as a marketer and someone who instructs folks in marketing, I think that automation and intelligent automation can get you so far. For certain types of tasks, it can actually complete them for you with excellence. With others, it can just get you much closer to the finish line than ever before. And I really, appreciate these examples, Peter, and the work that you're doing to kind of bring no-code automation to the general audience. And so what we talked about today is, first of all, the bottlenecks that every business has that slow you down, that cost a lot of time and money, the ability of automation, intelligent automation, and no-code tools to help you get much faster, higher quality content with much less human intervention. And then we did a couple of different examples of turning articles into social posts and blog posts to show how this can work in a marketing context. Peter, presenting this to this group, what is a aha that you would share with the group about, what did this kind of bring to mind for you?
I think this is what you're asking me. I mean, I think it's sort of what I really would encourage anybody to do is get an account to make, follow its onboarding process, and get to where you can search for all of the things that Make will connect to, because you will have an aha moment when you'll be like, I can connect to my HubSpot and I can get this data. Wow, what if I can get that data, and then maybe I can, connected with ChatGPT to provide me a summary of my meeting notes so that I don't have to do that every time. So I don't know. I think that that's sort of what you're asking for. And my aha moment was when I did go through that and started to look at all of the thousands of different things that Make can connect to. That's where my ideas come from. It's just simply saying, well, what if I had this and this, and ChatGPT in the middle to ask this or that to this, and then you put the pieces together and it works very well.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, guys, I put out a quick survey as we wrap up. Please let us know how we did today. I did see that there was a request for a private session with Peter. Peter, if you in the chat could just put your email address so that people can reach out to you if they'd like to book some time with you, or a Calendly link if they want to schedule some time with you. That Peter does this for a living, but really appreciate you kind of showing us some of the work, and so you can follow up with him directly on that. For me, the aha is, this is basically taking automations to the next level, and I immediately can think of really exciting applications for this in my own business. SEO is particularly the creation of content can be a really tedious and time-consuming task. And wow, this can immediately, same thing with posting on social media, and I can see how this could immediately allow my team to do more with less. And so we're definitely going to explore how we can leverage this for some of the real bread and butter of marketing around social media and SEO blog content. I'm also going to be thinking about how this could potentially be leveraged for newsletters, helping build email newsletters. And then there's just a million opportunities for how this can be used in kind of more operational parts of the business that may not actually be directly marketing and sales related. But I really asked Peter to focus on the marketing and sales use cases, and really excited to explore this. As a quick parting thought, I had heard a quote recently that, a smart kid with AI tools, automation, and an offshore team can build a $100 million business with no full-time employees in a matter of, and compete with much bigger and better resourced companies. And I think that's one of the opportunities and the challenges, is that, especially this younger generation that are more tech savvy, are going to become really good at leveraging these tools and competing with you in a really efficient way. And I bring this up in part to tell you that that's the opportunity that we have working with amazing folks like Peter to make our companies more efficient, but also that's the challenge that you all need to be worried about, which is a lot of businesses are going to need to compete against that smart young person who's building a company with very light U.S.-based human labor. And so we need to start leveraging offshore talent. We need to start leveraging no-code intelligent automation in order for us to really stay competitive. And I really believe we're right now in a 3 to 5 year transition period where these tools are going from the cutting edge to common practice. And the studies have shown that the better resourced companies, the larger companies, are moving there faster. And so the efficiency and competitiveness of small businesses is really at risk. And so the AI train is rolling out of the station, and either you jump aboard or you may get run over. And that's really what these master classes in today's session is about. And so, Peter, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. And if there's any information I can provide as a supplement, don't hesitate to ask. I listed all the questions. I see that there may be some I didn't answer. I'll send them back to you, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and, you know, you can feel free now to go ahead and answer some of the questions if folks want to stick around for a few extra minutes.
Sure. I don't know if you wanted me to be able to take screen, but somebody had asked a question for me to, from Mary Dominguez, to repeat some of the prompts that I fed to AI, and if a specific prompt they had in mind that they would want me to repeat.
Yeah, go ahead. This is your time, and folks typically will stay a little longer for it. So, you know, we'll share a recording of this on Monday in a recap email that we're going to send, and so you guys can keep an eye out for that.
So in the chat, I put, just so you guys know, in the Zoom chat, I put the link to what I use, what creates an RSS feed, and you can just change the ending to what you need it to be for your purposes. I also put the link to my Calendly. Right now, I'm going to copy and paste the prompt that I used for the RSS, where I told it to read this article, act as a what do you call it? An AI news reporter, summarize the article into power statements, blah 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 blah. That I'm going to give you that right now, so you can kind of see that. I think it's pretty slick, especially with 4.0 right now, and it just understanding what I really wanted to do, where it goes out and just doesn't read what I fed it exactly every time. It'll kind of understand those concepts and say, okay, Peter's a digital marketer. He's really trying to use this as a blog to kind of, you know, relate to the two. It's not allowing me to paste this. I don't know how else I could do this. Is there an email link that I can, or send the prompt to for you to forward it to people, Dan?
Sure. Well, why don't we include it in the summary email that we're going to be sending out on Monday?
Okay, yeah, perfect. I'll include the prompts for all of the ones that I've used, which are, you know, very simple. Read this article, create 6 power statements instead of using bullet points or emojis.
That would be, so that would be perfect. Everybody who's registered here will be getting a summary of key, so you can include the prompts in there.
Got it. And somebody said the link doesn't work for the RSS, but maybe they just need to copy it. You shouldn't, don't click the link, because I can see that the ending of it is not, don't click that link because it's only hyperlinking the first part of it. It needs the full string. And if you do copy that and paste it, you're going to see an RSS feed pop up of things that are related to digital marketing and ChatGPT and ChatGPT 4.0 as a combination search string in Google News. And if you read through the RSS, you can see the articles that have come back. I will send the prompts, private session, certainly. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else that I didn't think. The one thing that I could say, here's a good point I want to leave you guys with. Don't do this. Don't ask ChatGPT to write you an article on such and such topic. This is if you're going to do it manually, not in a scalable mode, but manually. Never ask ChatGPT to write you an article or write me a blog on this topic using these keywords or whatever. I think a better way to do that is to turn on your microphone and, excuse me for saying, have diarrhea of the mouth and just speak in whatever gibberish, what you're liking to, what copy or content you're looking to write. I'm writing an article about this. I want to make sure that I relay this example number one. I want you to just feel free to talk about what it is you want to write an article about. Then take that audio or transcribe that audio and then take the transcription, but take the audio and ask ChatGPT to make this sound clearer, better, more professional as an article or as in a blog post or as a landing page. ChatGPT, especially with 4.0 right now, is going to be smart enough to understand the concepts of what you're talking about, reach deep into its brain, its list of information, and it'll write the article, and it'll pick up on your, how you bridge topics together and how you actually deliver information. So that is a better way and easier and less of a, I think it's easier for me to do it that way. And I get excellent results out of that. Rather than simply prompting it by asking it to act as a writer or reporter to do this, that, or the other, because you're going to get things that are written for, there's going to be some programming it's not going to be all human deciphered that way. I think the results are going to be more standardized than human. And then lastly, you can always do the first way, write me a topic about this, act as this, blah, 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 write the article, and then there are other blog prompts out there that you can search for. I don't know of any top of my head, but I know I've seen them that says this prompt will read your article and act as a human and rewrite it. That's a second part of what you can do. I like the first way better because I think it really gives the AI the ability to know who you are and write that article like you and sounds more like you. You can also feed it old articles you have written and then say, write me a new article with this, and topic. But anyway, that's just some ideas.
Perfect. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Next Tuesday is our final master class for at least a little while. It's going to be a AI-powered marketing showcase. Definitely recommend it. Just a quick note, it's at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday, not our typical day and time, but it's the graduation for a course that we've been running that a number of you are participants in. So we'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks again, Peter, and keep an eye out for the Monday email with the recording and the takeaways.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, thanks everyone.
Recording stopped.
All right, Peter, thank you so much.
Yep, thank you. Anything you need, let me know. Look forward to it.
Of course, same wise. It was good to catch up at the beginning of the class.
Yep, it wasn't too much of a curveball, so we all did well. As long as you guys are good, I'm good.
All right, well, it came perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter. See you later. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.